Hello and welcome to the Square Cut Show. Today we are discussing the thrilling first test between India and New Zealand in Bengaluru. It's a historic win for New Zealand as they beat India by 8 wickets to take a 1-0 lead in the series. This was a classic test match with plenty of twists and turns, but ultimately, it was New Zealand who came out on top. A solid unbeaten 75-run stand between Will Young and Rachin Ravindra sealed the deal for the visitors, but there's so much more to unpack here. Let's dive into all the key moments. Well, New Zealand have finally done it. After 36 long years, they have managed to win a test match in India. It's not easy to come here and beat India in their own conditions, but New Zealand were clinical in their execution. Will Young and Rachin Ravindra held their nerve during the tricky chase of 107, and they showed immense composure, especially after losing 2 early wickets. Bumrah, as usual, was outstanding, removing Tom Latham for a duck in the very first over and then accounting for Devon Conway, who struggled for 17 off 39 balls. India had hope, but it was extinguished by Young and Ravindra. A composed partnership that took them home in just 36 overs. Absolutely. Will Young was superb, looking assured right from the start. He played the ball on its merit, and despite Bumrah's menacing spell early on, he never looked rattled. Ravindra, on the other hand, played with the same confidence we saw in the first innings. He played a couple of cracking boundaries right at the start, which settled any nerves. Once they got going, there wasn't much India could do. The spinners didn't have much to work with on this surface, and that's where India missed a third pacer. Bumrah's spell this morning gave India a brief glimmer of hope. He bowled with pace, control, and that unplayable seam movement. He got rid of Latham early, and when Conway struggled, you could sense India had a chance. But that's where the matchup of the two teams came into play. India lacked the third seamer to maintain pressure, and New Zealand capitalized on it. Exactly. Bumrah was excellent, but he didn't have enough support. Jadeja and Ashwin, who are usually so dangerous in these conditions, just didn't have enough help from the pitch. The pitch didn't break up as much as India would have hoped for, and without a third fast bowler to sustain pressure, it allowed Young and Ravindra to settle in. This was a tactical misstep from India, and something they will surely reflect on. Now let's go back to where New Zealand really won this test, day 2. India's first innings, all out for 46. That was the defining moment. With cloud cover and a damp pitch, Matt Henry and William came out firing. India just couldn't handle the relentless pressure. Henry's 5 for 15 and O'Rourke's 4 for 22 dismantled the Indian batting order. What do you think went wrong for India here? India's batters didn't apply themselves in those tough conditions. Yes, the deliveries were challenging, but it's not just about the pitch. There were soft dismissals as well. Rohit and Gill, for instance, played poor shots considering the conditions. The decision to bat on that second day was questionable, but the execution from the batters was where the game slipped away. And what a performance from New Zealand's bowlers. Matt Henry was sensational, extracting movement and bounce. O'Rourke, for someone playing in subcontinental conditions, bowled like a veteran. India's batting simply had no answers to the consistent pressure. Rachin Ravindra deserves all the praise for his incredible performance. His 134 in the first innings turned the game around after India had reduced New Zealand to 233 by 7. Along with Tim Southee, who contributed a crucial 65, Ravindra took the game away from India with that 137-run stand. Ravindra was fantastic. He's only a few tests into his career, but he played with the composure and temperament of a seasoned campaigner. He was excellent against both pace and spin. His footwork was brilliant, and the way he manipulated the field showed his growing maturity. And Southeast's contribution with the bat was equally critical. India was expecting to bowl them out with a minimal lead, but that partnership deflated their hopes. That's what really broke India's back. Going from 233 by 7 to 402 was a massive blow. India had no way back after that. Despite being behind the game, India fought back in the second innings. Sarfaraz Khan was brilliant with his 150, and Pant's aggressive 99 kept India in the hunt. They batted with intent, and that 177-run partnership between the two almost gave India a sniff of victory. Yes, India came out with positive intent in the second innings. Sarfaraz showed he belongs at this level, playing a mix of aggressive and cautious cricket. Pant was his usual self, attacking the bowlers. At one stage, India was 408 by 3, and with the game moving forward quickly, it looked like they might be able to set a decent target. But the second new ball changed everything once again. New Zealand's pacers, O'Rourke and Henry, found their rhythm again, taking the last 7 Indian wickets for just 54 runs. That was the final nail in the coffin for India. So, where did India go wrong in this match? What will they be reflecting on after this loss? There were quite a few missed opportunities for India. Firstly, their team selection. A third seamer was sorely missed, and relying on spin in conditions that didn't favour them was a tactical error. Rohit's decision to bat in those conditions was risky, but the execution from the batters was where it truly unravelled. The collapse on day 2 was game-defining, and despite their fight back in the second innings, they couldn't pull it off. India will also be disappointed with how their middle and lower order fell apart when the second new ball was taken. And for New Zealand, they'll be proud of how they handled the conditions. Their pacers were outstanding, and Rachin Ravindra was the star with both bat and ball. It's a well-deserved win. What a test match this was. A historic win for New Zealand, a lesson for India, and a great start to the series. With New Zealand 1-0 up, all eyes will now be on the second test. Can India bounce back? We'll have to wait and see. That's it from the Square Cut Show. Join us next time as we continue to cover this exciting series. Until then, take care and keep watching.